Hello, everyone, and welcome to another free masterclass. We have, after today, 7 more free classes that will run through the end of November. So we hope you can join us. Bring along a friend. That's always nice to do that. So I want to welcome you all, and we'll do the overview, and then I will make some comments, and we'll get into creating sacred space, grounding and centering, and then go from there. Okay, let me move out of here for a moment. Okay, you are cordially invited to join us for the next, actually it's 8 fireside chats. That includes today's class, a free masterclass series on moving through the earth changes and the Great Awakening. Many levels of the collective shadow of humanity is being exposed and brought to the surface for recognition, healing, and completion. Those starseeds and indigos that are awakening will need to remember their innate gifts and psychic skills in order to navigate through the swamp without being consumed by the collective anxiety, fear, and stress that is permeating the collective fourth-dimensional astral plane. Join us in sacred and supportive space to share and connect with your tribe. This is a nurturing platform and opportunity to share healing and begin to own your empowerment as a light server and lover of humanity. Many are needing counseling and emotional and psychic support. These get-togethers are opportunities for you to remember who you are and why you are here and how you serve the world. These gatherings are also an opportunity to help channel and anchor more divine light and love into the Christ grid system of the planet, and to support the elementals, nature spirits, and devas in their planetary work of raising the consciousness of humanity and Gaia into the 5th dimension and beyond. Bring a friend and invite your ancestors and pets to attend. So you can do that now. The more the merrier. Remember, activations are organic and evergreen and last into eternity. The more you listen, the more you receive, and the more you receive, the better you become. As they say in Hawaii, mobeta, mobeta. Please prepare for these gatherings with detox baths and centering exercises. Before the meetings, light a white candle, if you have one, burn some high vibrational incense, smudge your room and body, and wear colors of white, pink, golden, and green. These will create sacred space for your class participation and enjoyment. And always remember to bring a water bottle and perhaps a pen and notebook to take notes when you come out of activation. Oh, we forgot to include here who is assisting today. Well, that will be Babaji, among other things. Okay, let's get back to Zoom. Zoom. Okay, I'm going to put us on speaker. There we go. Okay, and please make sure you're all muted. Okay, so thank you again for gathering together, especially given what has happened since Friday, which has affected the whole world. Inner Earth and those beings off planet that are helping to serve our evolution, like the Arcturians. Okay. So let's bring our focus to the breath and begin to center yourself with your body, knowing you are not your body, that you are a spiritual being having an earth experience through a physical vehicle called your body. So we're going to breathe in pure prana, pure light from the highest dimensions possible. And take it deep into the belly, up into the lungs, and up into the third eye as you begin to activate your pineal and pituitary glands, your third eye chakra. And then as you exhale, Breathe downwards through and past the feet into new earth. Into that part of new earth that knows no chaos, no division, no separation, no anxiety, no fear. You could say you're going to exhale and reconnect or connect more deeply with the spiritual light of Gaia, new earth. So do this. Deep, long, deep breaths, very slow, long and deep. Breathe in. Take the light from the belly up, all the way up into the Ajna chakra. And as you exhale, relax all the muscles from head to toe. Forehead, eyelids, jaw muscles, shoulders, fingers, calves, toes. Allow the body to completely relax so it can deeply receive. Now, we are speaking always in these events, programs, classes, sessions. In all that we offer, we are speaking to your high self through the voice. So we are not addressing your ego self, your lower mind, your personality part, but we are addressing your body, the elemental being of your body, and your high self. So continue to breathe long and deep, very slow, very deliberate, all the way up into the pineal pituitary. And begin to let go of all the stress from the day, from the week, from the month, from the year. Now, disengage from your pain body, your emotional body, your intellect, tribal consciousness, the chaos of the world. Let go of everybody else's stuff, everybody else's psychic energy, emotions, thoughts, feelings, fears, doubts, anxiety, stress. Disengage from any cords that are not appropriate at this time so that your space becomes very clear and empty. Disengaging from the chaos of the world, from the anxiety of the planet, from the collective astral plane, from all fake news, false light, false matrix. Allow yourself to transcend any and all effects from EMFs, Wi-Fi, chemtrails, geopathic stress, low radio frequency waves, low frequency radio waves, that is, from HAARP, DARPA, CERN, satellite tracking and surveillance, cell towers, smart meters. Basically, anything that could disrupt your energy field, your brain function, your solar plexus, and your consciousness, as well as the health of your body. Now, we're going to call in the presence as we move through a golden arc of light into the oneness. We're going to move away from the earth plane, from tribal consciousness, from all the chaos that's in the atmosphere of the earth. We're going to move from that through a golden arc of light into your higher dimensional light bodies, towards your I am presence, your monad, your rainbow light body. Moving awareness away from all realms of limitation and moving closer and deeper, merging with the oneness, merging with your I am. Now we're going to call forth the presence of Babaji. the Kriya Yoga Babaji, as written in Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda. And with the assistance of Babaji, you're going to create a force field of light around your home and around your body that is 100% super duper strong. A force field of light that is impenetrable from the worlds of duality. So however you are going to co-create this with Babaji, it's going to protect your home, your physical body, your automobiles, all occupants in your home, 24/7. It will exist on all dimensions that have duality. Now, this force field of light that extends into the earth, that extends above your home into the earth, all around 360 degrees. It encompasses your whole auric field, all of your light bodies. And the only thing that will enter into this force field is love and truth. Joy, bliss, ecstasy. Inspiration, creativity. Clarity of purpose. Any and all distractions, any and all energies of distractions will not be permitted into this force field. Now, see this force field also surrounding your inner child and the elemental being of your body, your guardian angels. Continue to move deeper into the oneness until you fully embrace your I am. And envision your physical body being 100% connected to the new earth through the feet chakras, through your base chakra, from your hips, even your solar plexus. Now, you may become aware of any subtle levels of resistance in the mind to this energy, or subtle levels of turbulence in your emotional body. Just allow. Now, you're going to bring forth in visualization from your highest light body the violet flame, the violet light, the pure violet light. And you're going to channel it down through all levels of your auric field, your chakras, your nadis, your meridians, into all of your organs and glands, your brain, your heart center, your solar plexus, all your chakras. Let it completely flow through all levels of your embodiment, down into the earth, down into the Christ grid system of the earth, into your neighborhood, into your city, your county, your state, your province, your country. The violet purifies and cleanses. It also uplifts all dense vibrations into higher states of awareness. It is very purifying, very cleansing. Let it move through your mental body, your emotional body, your etheric body. Let it move through all levels of your home environment, your automobiles, your pets. Ask your ancestors to receive this, the power of the violet flame. Your ancestors, your family members, those that are on the other side that have recently passed within, say, the past 3.5 years. Now you're going to come back very slowly to your room and your body while invoking inwardly from the core of your being, from the Lord God of your being, that the love of God unfolds you, the light of God surrounds you, the power of God protects you, the grace of God blesses you, and the presence of God watches over you. And wherever God is, you are, and wherever you are, God is, as you proclaim, I am divine creator manifested in form. You're going to also go praying now as you come back to your room to be fully grounded with your body. You're going to proclaim, behold, I make all things anew. As I come back to the room in my body, I make all things anew. I make the world anew. I make my body, my mind, my life anew. I am sovereign, I am free, and I have come. Word, I am word. So be it. Now, keep the channels open for the remainder of this class. So you'll be basically in 2 levels at the same time. You'll be here physically on this call, and you'll also be in the quantum at the same time, even with eyes open. Now, open up your throat chakra so you can share very deeply, and open up the heart chakra so you can receive very deeply. Open up the hands and the feet, keep the feet chakras, the hand chakras open for flow, and be aware of your spinal column. Be aware of the energies that are now moving through your spinal column. Be aware of the presence of Babaji. Okay, you can slowly open the eyes. Sip some water if you need to. If you need to take a few short notes, go ahead so you don't forget. Okay, so for tonight, for our gathering tonight. We could, if you wish, we could discuss, we could share anything that has been triggered within you since last Friday, USA time. What you've been dealing with currently. You can also share realizations and insights, whatever level. Know that your sharing will benefit the whole group, no matter what level it is. Everybody will benefit from your sharing. So we encourage you to open up and to share from the heart, be vulnerable, be visible as a star seed, as the indigo. And just know that you, as you choose, have the ability to move through all of what is happening and what's going to happen in a way that you have never done before. And that includes Atlantis, Lemuria, etc. Remember, what is being outpictured in the world is a replay of Atlantis and then some. So it is not new what is happening. And what is happening has been planned for a long time. So at the same time, we hold that space of blessings for all those that are and have made sudden departures from the planet, knowing that they most likely have volunteered to give up their incarnation with the knowing that it will help people to wake up from the dream. You know, help others to move through the veil of forgetfulness. So these departed souls, bless their hearts, have given up their life in one sense in order for humanity to awaken. And know that those that have recently departed, after they complete their, how we say, rehab on the inner planes, their therapies on the inner planes, most, if not all, are and will come back to help support you and those that they love. So on that level, nothing is ever lost. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Okay, so you can open up your eyes. I'm going to put us on gallery view now. Oh, I see some folks joined late. Right in the middle of the activation. Okay, we're on, we were on full screen. Oh boy. What did Zoom do now to me here? Boy. View here. Okay, we're on gallery view. Okay. Who would like to share, ask questions, comments, whatever? You can unmute yourself or raise your hand. And if I see your hand raised, I will unmute you. Pradeep, why don't you go? Because Pradeep, in a way, is a laughing Buddha disguised as a doctor of kids.
Kenji, it's been quite a run, right? So, the disruption that started last weekend is, I think part of a disruption that's been going on. There's a element of incredible sadness of how humans treat one another. Yes. But again, I keep reminding myself to see things are happening at the level of consciousness, and consciousness is resolving itself, and being able to create some space, but send love and healing is important. I did a support call with some of my frontline staff today, and the issue was very, very, very alive for them. And we talked about that. We talked about what is our role in the world when things like this happen. But it's been one thing after another, right? You know, it's been racial reckoning, global pandemic, political instability, craziness worldwide. So there's a lot going on. So again, I think this opportunity to kind of center and gather together is really important. And I unfortunately have missed a few of the calls, but I'll try to make them, because again, just being in a community of light is part of what we have to be able to hold on to, connect to as we go through, and remember to kind of stay in the light. And, you know, around me, things are changing, people are changing, but you have to follow your own path and follow that path of light. And again, feels much better when you're not alone.
Indeed.
And I still haven't worked on that app yet with my laugh, but I was at a conference recently that I put on, and the most common comment of people from the audience that weren't in the room said, "We can hear Pradeep's laugh on Zoom. It makes me feel like I'm there." So I hope to one day have an app just called that Crazy Laugh.
Hey, yeah, I go for that. I'll get that one. So you just let me know when it's done. Yeah.
And
Pradeep used to laugh a lot in the retreats that he attended when I was teaching quantum light weaving. And that was the one thing that stood out. And I would always pick on him to get him to laugh more so that everybody else could laugh with him. And yeah.
And we disrupted a lot of negative energies with it.
Yeah. Yes. Remember that time we were on the balcony at the Westin in LA, and I told you just start laughing down into the lobby?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Who's that guy laughing? Why is he laughing?
Where's that coming from? So Kenji, the other thing just to add is, could you speak a little bit more about Babaji and Babaji's role? Because, you know, he's often seen as similar to Christ in the West as Babaji in the East. And I just think I would love to hear a little more, you know, at some point. It doesn't have to be right now, but I just think it's fascinating that it's a Babaji day.
Yeah, it's unofficial.
Every day is.
It's unofficial Babaji day. Why don't you guys, when you go to sleep tonight, ask Babaji to come in your dream time, and so that he could share with you perhaps his role. Babaji did train with some masters in India. I don't know if anybody knows about his birth, if he was actually born like everybody else, but he kind of is remembered as kind of like a yogi that looks like about 30, 35 years old with long hair, never ages. Somehow he got himself into that place where he didn't age. So he became known as the deathless avatar. His commitment, from what I remember, he said he was going to be on the planet for a long time to help humanity, literally to ascend, to wake up, to enlighten themselves. And he does it sort of in a silent way. He has appeared and disappeared to people from all over the world, but apparently he hangs out somewhere in the Himalayas. People have sought him out. I bet you a few have actually met him there, but he kind of is the overseer of the Kriya Yoga lineage. Kriya Yoga is one path of meditation for enlightenment. And I did take, in my personal life, I did take some Kriya Yoga trainings and got initiated by several of the Kriya Yoga masters that were around at that time back in the 70s and 80s for the experience. But I have a kind of a long-standing connection with Kriya Yoga and Babaji, much of which I don't remember, but I just kind of know in a sense. So it's very familiar to me, the energy. But in any case, Babaji can help you to meditate because he's a master of that. He doesn't have to sleep. He doesn't have to eat. He doesn't have to do the things that we have to do, having a physical body. So basically, he has eternalized, like an eternity, his physical body. And if that's what you want to do, ask him to help you with that. Ask him to show you how to do that. And then you have to pay attention to these subtle impressions that you get and trust it. So that's part of the whole thing that we're all learning, is about how to trust our knowingness and our intuition and to act upon it. So all the closet psychics and channelers and oracles out there, when you come out of the closet, that's when you really start to, I suppose, really learn, because you put yourself out there on a platform where you're visible to people. You make yourself known. Not saying you have to be famous or anything, but when you start to really get out of the closet, then that's when the growth really begins. And that's when you learn how to stay grounded in the midst of chaos, where you become aware of what's happening in the world, like right now, and not be affected by it and not take sides. So here's the other thing. They are suggesting to not take sides, to look at what's happening in the world from a very neutral, objective Voyager place, from that place of witness, where you're not taking sides and you're not making judgments. You are seeing what is true for you and mostly what is not true for you. So I believe the purpose of what's happening, and it's going to continue to happen. You think it's bad now or intense now, just wait. This is just the beginning of the collapse. The Tower of Babel is collapsing. It's collapsing. You have to let it collapse. You cannot try to save it. It's an old system that needs to be collapsed so that the new can be reborn, of which you all are part of. Every time you visualize how you want your world to be, how you want your day to go, you are creating new earth. And then you will start connecting up with people that are building communities, off-the-grid stuff, far out technology for healing, you know, all this stuff that we're kind of like hearing about. That will all become more prevalent. So we have to do our part and to stay in balance and not be affected by the storm that's here. So symbolically, you could get washed away by the storm. You could lose your home, all your belongings, everything, your passport, your driver's license, everything. That's symbolic now. Or you can rise above the storm. So think of it this way. The analogy is we're all riding on a rough sea, choppy waves, maybe tsunami-like waves on occasion, right? Like we're experiencing now. How do you ride the surf without drowning, without being consumed? So that's our learning energetically. We're learning how to surf the quantum. How about that? Surfing the Quantum. That's a title for somebody's book, okay? Write it down, Surfing the Quantum. How I Learned to Master My Life, subtitle. Okay. Who else would like to share? Thank you, Pradeep. That was very good. Jan always has comments. So let's hear from Hawaii. Let's hear from Oahu. Aloha.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I know. I always pick on you. You know that.
So actually, I was at Trout Lake on Friday in Portland area by Mount Adams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I didn't even know what was going on until I saw someone's Facebook post on Monday, right? So, but it's interesting that you're talking about this, because when I was there, you know, I mean, of course I went to go visit my ET friends, right? And it wasn't the type of I guess communion, right, that I had expected. So, and it was wholly different. But for me, I feel a lot more grounded, and more settled in a sense. And yeah, so for I just feel that I connected with them at a much different level. And so yeah, so you're talking about what is your purpose, or what are you here for? What is your role in this whole thing, right? So yeah, so anyway, I wasn't here. I was here, but I wasn't here. Yeah.
How are your family and friends responding or reacting to the last 5 days, 6 days?
Well, my husband had left. He wasn't here when I got home, so, on a business trip. So I don't know what he's saying about the whole thing. My kids are totally oblivious. And but my friends though, they're talking about it, but yet they're not talking about it. Because what
Yeah.
I've always told them is, look, as long as you know what's coming, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And if you're not in the know, if you don't understand and fully trust, then you're going to totally freak out, and that's your journey, and it's
Yeah.
going to be hard. It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so the people around me, they're used to it already, so they're not freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Let's
Yeah.
hope your governor stays nice and centered and grounded, eh?
Oh, okay. No comment about the whole Lahaina thing. And I do think, not to be a Debbie Downer, but I do agree with you. I think there is something much larger. Look, I'm getting confirmation now. Much larger that is coming. And the grief that I felt when I was given that information, it was overwhelming. I've never felt that before. Yeah.
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 I'm sure a lot of us have Lemurian connections. So whatever happens in Hawaii, we feel it or we become aware of it. And it can be intense. But just know it's a replay, you guys. And you bought your ticket to go see the movie. So you're in the balcony section, right? And you're going to, and it's getting so ridiculous now that I chuckle at what is trying to come down the pike, so to speak. I just go, wow, that is beyond insanity. So it's really quite funny. But I know it's no laughing matter for those that are experiencing it, but then we have to realize there is no death. And if there's nothing by accident, then they have chosen to leave, in a sense, to sacrifice their incarnation for the greater plan. That is slowly being revealed. My only prayer is that I see the changes in my lifetime, because I've been in the field now going on 55 years, and it's a long haul. If I look back in the first 5 years of when I started studying consciously this stuff, 1969, 1970, when I went to college, I've come a long way personally. And I knew early on, I think, what my role was. I just, maybe some of you haven't found the platform to express yourself. So part of this masterclass energetically is in an unseen way to help those of you that are looking for a platform for you to express your business or your healing gifts or your teaching gifts or your leadership gifts or whatever kind of gifts that you have, that you can do that. Because I find that many star seeds don't have a platform to express their gifts, and they become frustrated. Or naturally, you become frustrated. So these master classes are energetically building opportunities for you. We don't usually talk about this level, but know when two or more are gathered and we have the same focus, things happen. So who knows? Miracles could happen when you wake up tomorrow. You never know what miracle is going to be available to you. But being gathered like this helps produce those miracles. Thank you, Jan. Mahalo.
Aloha.
Who else like to share? Oh, I see Vivian. I think she came for a session many, many months ago. Nina's here. You got a lot of old timers here. Catherine and Lise and Carol's here again, and Christine, I think. Deborah Eagle. I remember that name from where back. And Catherine's here again. Just unmute yourself, or Golden. Okay, Golden. Golden there in the upper left corner of the screen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that the meditation that you offered us was probably one of the best that I've ever been in. And it was very interesting that you mentioned distraction, because as Pradeep has said, that distraction is rife at the moment, and it's upsetting a lot of people who are not aware.
Yes.
Awake is the common worldly word. I thank you for reminding everybody that there is no death, and that if we do get caught up in the drama or the Tower of Babel that's coming on down, that you will continue on, and that you will have an opportunity to return to another planet and start again, or another body. Like, it's all good. There's nothing to be frightened of, and that being an observer of the changes that are happening and trying to emotionally detach yourself. So just as Kenji has said, before we came here, we premeditated for ourselves and wrote in our own contract that we would, in fact, have a bird's eye view, or that we would have royal seats to what was about to happen. And that we have to detach ourselves somehow from that tower, knowing that it's going to happen regardless of what we do. And that it is incredibly important for us to join the platforms like Kenji has opened up and allowed for each of us to gather in, so that we can partake in helping others to become awake, so that they don't have to be scared. It's vitally important. And those who you talk to in your immediate sphere who think you're a crackpot and need a white jacket, they're not going to wake, regardless of what you say. They're just not going to wake. And that's the contract they wrote. So step away and stop trying to force your information on people who are not ready for it or simply don't want it. They made the contract to be part of the Babel Tower. You made the contract to save those who were willing to listen. And that should be your focus. 100%. So Kenji, words don't even express how grateful I am for the platform that you have allowed for each of us to gather in like-mindedness, and to be able to share of your beautiful light that you offer us in your offerings and in your meditations, and just to be able to join one with another and know that we are the family that will rejoice at the end of it all, because we know that it is all just it's just a cycle. Been there, done that. Even if you don't remember, you have been there, done that, just as Kenji said. And if you try your very hardest to take a step back, even if you have to do it in your imagination, take a step back from what's called reality and just watch it as if it is a movie playing out on your TV screen in your lounge. And then you will start to see inside yourself, you'll feel inside yourself, actually, I'm not a part of this. I am just watching it. Sometimes you have to detach yourself to realize that you were set apart from the tower coming down. And I'm thank you for the opportunity to talk about what it is that I'm planning to offer the world. COVID was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. It made me stay at home and get really deep in all that I have already done. I've got certificates and practitioner certificates coming out of my brass wazoo. And what I did was I put them all into a melting pot and mixed them all up and came out with this most amazing modality that I've created that allows people to go deep within very fast, like within 60 minutes. You can have a complete session with me and find out what it is that you're supposed to be doing in the future. And it's just the most incredible thing. And I'm really looking forward to opening this up to the world, not just light workers, because I believe that if I open it up to the world, those who partake of the sessions and don't realize that they are a light worker certainly will once they've been through this process. And I'm looking forward to bringing that to pass very soon. Actually, I'm in the processes. Got the website at the Digital Doctors and blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. So as we meet further, I'll let you know when it's all a happening thing. But again, Kenji, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Speaking of that, if any of you guys are in private practice, shall we say, in whatever kind of healing arts, put your web address or your contact info in the chat box. Because one of my very first readings was a channeled reading from Michael. That was way before channeling was even discussed, let alone popularized. This was back in, oh God, when was it? Late 80s? No, yeah, I guess 87. I went to see this marvelous channel. She was really a pure channel, and she was channeling Michael. Came through with the accent and everything. I call it the archangel accent. I don't know if they have accents, but anyway, one of the things that he told me about my gifts was that I was a networker. So at that time I went, okay, that sounds good. But I didn't realize that that's kind of what I do. I mean, I just always am networking information to people. Can't help it. It's just in my bones. But so maybe, now's the time to acknowledge your talents and your gifts, to really acknowledge it. Yes, I am a networker. I am a catalyst. I am a facilitator of whatever you want to call it. And, if you have any questions about how to get started with a business or doing presentations at expos or whatever, I mean, I've got all that experience. You're always free to email me through the website to ask me, and I always answer everything. I don't think there's one email that I haven't answered in my life. I don't think, unless it was, of course, spam or, that kind of stuff. But anybody that I know, I always answer. So I can't say that for some of the popular teachers that are on the scene today, But I figured, if they've got the time and energy to email me, I've got to respect that and respond in kind. Because one of the things that I've kind of learned from my parents in a way, or remembered, they supported the Christian idea of the golden rule. So I've tried to do that all my life. Okay, who else would like to share? Great sharing so far. Of course, Dr. Karen always has something to share, but let's see who else is here. We got Tammy, we got Eva, we got Lorraine. And we got Nina. Jana, you'd like to share anything? Since you're on video, you're right in the center of my screen there.
Okay. So they're not letting this go. So I was gonna ask you anyway if I could share this.
Okay.
Oh, recently I have started working with the whales. That came totally out of the blue. because I don't work with the whales. And when that information came through, I'm like, what? You want me to do what? But anyway, what they'd like, if you feel called to it, connect yourself with your whale, because they are the Stargate keepers. And there's going to be a lot of things coming through that shouldn't be coming through. You know, and so what they told me is that they just they need to make that connection with us a little bit more stronger. And there's a connection with the horses too. I'm not sure how that all plays in. And I don't think I think there's someone else coming in to make that stronger with the whales. But yeah, so if you are called to make that connection with your whale, I've been doing that with groups of people with the light language, and it's just that connection that they just really want us to I guess they wanted me to say that so that I put it out there. So if you call to do it, please do it.
Thank you. Put your information in the chat box, Jan. So Jan's in Oahu, Hawaii. We did a retreat near Captain Cook, and there's a big, huge Stargate there, right off of Captain Cook on the Big Island. And well, this is kind of a nice thing to share. So we took the class down to City of Refuge, and we learned a little bit about the history of the City of Refuge. It's a sacred site to the Hawaiians there. So what we found out was they used to do ceremonies there where the initiates, I guess those that were studied to be shamans or kahunas or whatever, had to swim across the bay to the other side. And either they made it or they didn't make it. And that's a good sized bay, right? So anyway, so we were in meditation under a tree. We tried to find a Bodhi tree. I don't know if it was a Bodhi tree, but anyway, we sat under a tree. We did an activation, we recorded it. And the feedback afterwards was one of the students tuned in that there were a lot of souls that were stuck there in that vortex area, in that Stargate area, in the bay. They had died. They didn't make it to the other side. So they had kind of failed. Well, they were stuck on the astral plane there. And she, I guess, and her guides helped release those souls to the light. So that would explain like where you live in dense areas that you kind of like don't want to kind of go through or near because it's like really heavy. Well, maybe there are astral beings, earthbound beings that are stuck there from like the Civil War or whatever. Like in the South, it's very heavy, right? Understandably, you had the Civil War, you had slavery, you had moonshiners. I mean, you had a lot of stuff going on, prostitution, the whole thing, right? In the South. And North Carolina is kind of like right in the middle of the South. Asheville's not bad compared to everywhere else in the South, but there are definitely pockets of density. So I was not trained to release souls, but I did take this, this is a little side note. I did take this spirit release workshop by Betsy Bergstrom in Seattle. And she's a Caucasian shaman. She's very good at depossession. That's what she called it. In other words, helping souls go to the light. So I was doing practice sessions with my friends. And at one session, we connected to a being that didn't know it died and was attached to my friend, energy field. And we had to talk to this being for about 30 minutes to convince it that it's not supposed to attach to another human being after it dies, that it had died, and it needs to go back to the light. And I realized to say that necessarily instead of like home, because a lot of beings didn't have good home life. So that would be like a trigger word. If you said that, they would like, well, I ain't going home, right? So the light is a little bit more, how should I say, user-friendly. And we eventually got the being to go through the portal and back into the light. So maybe we're saying this because there are still a whole bunch of earthbound entities that are stuck on the earth plane and they don't know that they died. Okay, like for instance, what has happened in the last few days? Those beings now that are on the other side may not realize that they had just suddenly died without any preparation at all, right? And that's what happens when you don't prepare for your transit, your departure. If you're not prepared, then you're traumatized. You will take that trauma with you. You're on the other side and you're kind of traumatized. You need to be rehabilitated. You actually need to be coached into the whole understanding that you left your incarnation and it's time to go for a little rehab, life review, go back into the light to your council and discuss what you're going to do next. See, if we all understood that, life would be much easier, especially the passage would be much easier. But obviously, as you know, we weren't trained to think that way. So again, the depression and the anger that's in the world right now because of what's happening is people's idea that there's only one life. Then you're either going to go to heaven or hell. You know, when I first heard that as a little kid, I went, that's stupid. That is really stupid. I thought, this is really stupid. God would not like create a one life and that's it. Poof. How dumb. So hence, all my Sunday school lessons were very boring. I was born and raised a Methodist. Anyway, that's another story. Okay, so anybody want to share? Just let's keep rolling here because we got another, well, we can go another hour if you want. Well, at least I go another 25 minutes. Jules, you want to say anything? You're on video there. You are sitting astutely in your chair, observing everything. Yes, Jules.
Hi. Yeah, all of that makes so much sense, including the whale. I've got my little whale here. And in New Zealand, of course, the kauri trees are supposedly the beings on the land that talk to the whales. And I did work in the parks for quite a while. So when the kauri dieback arrived, there's been, because of what you were just saying as well, in the Waitakere Ranges where I am, there were a lot of tribal wars. So I think there's always been that dense energy around.
Yeah.
And about 2008, no, maybe 2013, kauri dieback arrived, and it was a rahuia was put on the forest, so people, the Maoris didn't want people to go in as tourists so much because of kauri dieback, and it was a tree disease. And it actually wasn't anywhere near the walking tracks. Since then, it sort of seems more like it's on the ridges and things. But at the time, they put a covenant on the forests and closed quite a lot of the tracks, so people couldn't go there. So just all of this stuff coming together, because at the time I was working in the parks and I just kept saying to everybody, well, it's like the canary in the mine shaft, isn't it? This is like just the warning sign of what's going on. It's all needing to be cleared and things like that, even though I wasn't speaking of it in the same way that I maybe would now. So there's all of that, and the fact that they were the communicators with the whales as well. So that actually, there's something in that for me. Plus, yesterday, someone said to me, how you doing? And I went, surfing the waves. And when you were talking about that, so it's like every time I come here to these chats, there's so many things that just go ping, 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 including I'm big with cards, and you were doing cards that time. And the one I looked at this morning asking about, okay, what have we got going with Kenji today? I picked up my fairy cards, and right there was one called Mick the Mayamancer, and you were talking about Archangel Michael. And to me, this card, I don't know if you can see it, is all about the earth.
Okay.
And on the other side was the alchemist.
The what?
This one is Nellie's the alchemist. So
Oh,
that's
alchemist. Yeah.
yeah, fairy alchemist. So immediately when I saw those before you came on, I was very grateful, because I know that some of the things that we've been talking about as well recently is all about transforming into the new earth.
Yeah.
And all of that. So I did have a business before COVID that I just shut down, and I haven't been doing it. And I've also been talking to my Israeli friends here this morning before getting on here. And I just feel like I'm picking up too much demons everywhere I go. So I just really like to understand that a bit more, so that I can relieve myself of it when it happens. And the other thing we were talking about, you were saying before about being detached. And I think that's really important. And I do feel very detached a lot more now than I ever have before.
Mhm.
But that actually has been worrying me, that I've been feeling too detached, and I haven't been as emotionally connected to things as I used to be. But I was hypersensitive and emotional for quite a lot of my life. So maybe that's a much better thing, that I'm detaching.
I think you're finding your balance there. So one thing you can do, and this is for everybody, someone taught me this, a long time ago. This is regarding if you feel like you're under a psychic attack, or like a dark energy comes into your presence or your space and you don't know who it is. Here's what you can do, but you got to say it with force. You can't say it with a feeble voice. You know what I mean? You can't say it like how a teenager would do a affirmation or a declaration. You have to do it with power. But what you can do is you can command that energy, that being, that presence, to stand in the light of the Christ. And verbalize this. You verbalize this out loud to that energy. I command thee to stand in the light of Christ. They have to do one of two things. They're going to remain in the light of the Christ, or they're going to disappear. If they stand in the light of Christ, that means they're going to be transformed.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm always calling in 4 pillars of light as a portal around my property, but then I started worrying that there was all sorts of other stuff coming in as well. So I think
That's why we did this version of the protection space today. We did it a little differently. So the 4 pillars of light, we did the whatever I called it, so that it totally surrounds you, 360 degrees, goes into the earth, above you, around you, all sides of you, everywhere. So that's your sacred space. So when you build your sacred space, you won't have to do as much protection, because theoretically the sacred space is your protection. But until you build it very, very strong with practice, you can do that command. I command thee to stand in the light of the Christ. Knowing that no being can enter your space without your permission, without your express permission. That's where beings right now have violated cosmic law. If there was ever such a thing as that, they violated free will, another person's free will, in a sense.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, so you guys, when you are aware of the news, you watch TV, you go on social media, whatever, hear from friends, whatever energies that you do not resonate with, which will be obvious, you say no to. Energetically say, no, thank you. You won't allow that energy into your space when you say that. No, thank you. In other words, you're saying, no, just no. I don't accept that. The plan is to push their agenda on everybody. That's obvious. Everybody, no matter what, right? In one way or another, They've got about 8 different ways they're doing this right now, all at the same time, right? You are aware of probably most of these. Say no. No, just no. See, starseeds have to understand that they can say no. So as a little kid, you weren't taught to say no. Especially little girls were not taught to stand up for themselves and say no when they don't like something. So now's the time to do that. It's retraining your inner kid to stand up, to come out of the closet and stand in the light. And whatever you don't like, and you know that through your own knowingness, you just say no to it. I do not accept that energy into my consciousness. You have a right. That's how we stand up to this plan that they're pushing on the whole globe, everybody, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's saying, hey, say no to this. To march and demonstrate ain't going to do it, because that means you are fighting an enemy, or you have an adversary there that you are protesting against, no matter what it is, right? Both sides are not right. That's why you can't take sides. Both sides only have a portion of the whole picture. And that's why they argue, and that's why they fight. But
And
if you
also, I feel
say
a
no.
lot of, there's a lot less fighting than we imagine. It's all coming from the media. And I did used to work in news and current affairs, so I think that's another thing, is that I don't even want to look at it anymore, because it looks so false, most of it.
Oh, it
me.
is. It's Days of Our Lives is 2.0. That's that old soap opera back when I was growing up, way back in the 60s, 70s. Days of Our Lives, As the World Turns, General Hospital, all that. Yeah, it's like 2.0 on those kind of things. But here's what I do. I watch the news just to understand what they are trying to do. But here's what I do before I watch the news, or even intel, so-called intel, right? I put up a shield, or I put up a thing against all fake news. In other words, all fake news will not enter my awareness. It won't enter my body. It won't affect my mental body or my brain function. All fake news. So in other words, again, when you put this canopy of light around you, this force field of light, your intention in this force field is only truth and love shall enter. So all fake news ain't going to enter. It'll just bounce off like how water bounces off duck feathers, like that. Just bounce off. Or it could be like a mirror where it's just reflected back. It doesn't enter.
Right.
We need this protection now until we don't need it. Now, we didn't need this 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, but it's gotten so intense that we need these filters. We need these shields, in a sense, until we become masters of our reality. Then we don't need it anymore. So it's like training wheels. It's necessary, because you don't want to be wide open and go out shopping. You'll get wiped out energetically, right? You'll feel everything, and just go, I got to go home and take a nap. Right?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Can I ask you one last thing? I'm sorry
Yeah.
to go on about me. When I went down the driveway the other day, there were 2 dead ducks in the cul-de-sac where I live. And I thought I didn't want all the kids to see them before they went to school. So I went over to pick them up and bury them. And one of them was lying there. They looked perfectly fine, a male and female duck. But like half a foot from one of them was its heart, like just lying there away from where they were, but next to them. And that just freaked me out, actually, because I thought that was just so strange and so weird. So I picked them up and put them in a cloth and buried them in my garden. Was that the right thing, do you think?
Yeah.
Or do you think it was just stupid and I'm just over imaginative?
No, they appreciate that very much. They'd rather be buried in your backyard than in the local dump.
Yes. I just couldn't understand why the heart was outside of one of them.
Yeah. Wow.
That was...
Well, maybe you can meditate on that. Maybe that's symbolic for you. Maybe that was a message from the duck kingdom, the bird kingdom, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
Well, it could be on one level, collective level, humanity's lost its heart, popped out of its body, right? Whoa, whoa. Better call
Can I
Pradeep.
please make another comment, Kenji?
Yes. Thank you for sharing, Jules.
Thank you.
It's kind of to everybody, but also to Jules. So I agree with you that the darkness in New Zealand at the moment is way more powerful than I've felt for a long time. But the sacred space that Kenji offered, please listen to the recording, because he allowed Babaji to assist him in putting this protective light around us, and he also demanded or commanded that nothing will be able to break through it other than truth and light. So if you allow yourself to re-listen to that and really absorb it so that you believe it. And I wouldn't worry too much about your inner self trying to detach emotionally, because rejection of everything that's going on is actually protection.
Right, thank you.
So just allow your inner self to detach you. Obviously you're not, and that's why, like you said, I feel myself detaching emotionally. Rejoice in that.
True. Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
So here's an afterthought. When you stay in this place of detachment, like the Buddha taught, or disengagement from the world of duality, then you open up the space for bliss and joy and ecstasy.
Yes.
Okay.
I need some of that.
Okay. You got it. Okay.
Thank
Now
you.
we're back to what's her name here. Where'd she go? Oh, she disappeared. Where'd she go? The one I was going to call upon. Oh, did she drop off? Yeah, she might have. Okay. Who else like to share? Dr. Karen, you always got something to share.
Hi, everybody.
We'll keep it under 4 minutes. Can we? That's
I
going to be
took
your
notes.
test. Huh?
I took notes.
Okay. So 4
Keep
minutes
it
or
short.
less. Yeah.
Well, what's crazy and what's beautiful about these calls is absolutely everything everyone said so far, and you're also eloquent. I wish I had that same ability. Please send your energy to me so I can speak as eloquently, please. But it's stuff that everything that everyone mentioned. I thought I just think sometimes I'm crazy and that I just get all these thoughts, but I got absolutely all these downloads that everyone said today, specifically, right down to a dead rabbit in my backyard. Okay. It's so I've had chills this whole call. So I'm gonna just read my notes. The whales, that's showing up so much, right down to Star Wars, the new Ahsoka series. The whales actually bring Ahsoka and her apprentice to another dimension. That's their job. So I think a lot of things get reflected in our media, in our movies and that type of thing, that are actually factual, that are they're tuning into things that are more on that emotional end, and you can see different pieces of those things showing up. So whales were one of the things, and I've been feeling a lot of whales. I have a lot of sensitivity around animals. So when the dead rabbit showed up today, that was a little jarring. Let me just go down the list. So I kept getting this hit today about tell Kenji to ask him to talk about hypersensitivity of people versus being a sensitive, because they're very different. And I think sometimes people confuse those terms, where we think we're being too hypersensitive, or even when our nervous system is just on fire and can't figure things out. That's different than being a sensitive. I think a lot of people are very sensitive, but because we're going down like this energetic road and learning to expand. And sometimes things feel too in our face and too harsh. And sometimes it's more about calming our nervous system down, which is, I think, a great point for meditation and for doing these calls. So sorry, I'm bullet pointing here. The 1010 portal that was yesterday into today, it felt like it's energy to me that I've never felt before, but has this strange familiarity, but so ancient that we almost forgot about it. So that was my impression of it, and sort of goes along with what we've been talking about on the call. I also got a hit about how everyone's being called to step into their creativity, that instead of thinking about yourself, think about just where can I just expand this, where can my creativity, almost like you're opening up Pandora's box in a good way. Open up your own soul to think creatively and expansively, way more than you ever have, because that's what's going to create the new world energy. That we're in the process, the stage is set. We are here to just take it and run with it in a good way. And old ancient energies, including everything that's going on, which honestly, I stay pretty stupid to world events. And I sit back from the news and I try to just feel what is right, what is wrong, or what's happening and what it feels like. So forgive me if I say certain words that may be triggering, because I'm not necessarily relating it directly to the events. I'm relating it to the energy that I'm feeling. So I just want to preface it with that. What it's feeling like to me is that very old ancient energies are literally being swept off like a defrag of the planet, where the sense of ownership of land and that type of thing, like, I don't 100% know how this applies, but that all the people that died a long time ago, not just the people that are just being slaughtered right now, the people that have died way before any of us were ever born, and just ancient energy, that's what's being cleared off, to start making sense of what matters now. How do we move forward now? Because if we get stuck in our past, we wouldn't have any relations with anyone on the planet if we actually thought about our World War II and World War I and all the wars that have been fought. You cannot move forward as a people on the planet, as a planetary society, without giving everybody a place, and it's not about going back for old stuff. And right in our own homes, we can't hold on to old stuff, unless, of course, things that have meaning, hold on to them. But, I'll leave it there, because it's really just about sweeping out old energy.
Timer's up.
Okay.
One last
Sorry.
thought.
Yeah. Well, just the dead rabbit thing. I just saw the rabbit alive yesterday, and I think a neighborhood cat killed it, and it was horrific the way it was left, because I cleaned it up today, and I think, and that bothers me. I have a very strong connection with animals, and when I see something that dies, because I've had birds fly into windows right in front of me, and I know that it was sacrificing itself to send me a message. I think it's very reflective of what's happening now. And Kenji, I think you mentioned that, that people are leaving through these, well, now it's horrific conditions, but it's sometimes we need those shakeups to really get people to, on a large scale, to help really wake a lot of people up so that change can happen. For me to see the rabbit, that was a personal message, as well as I think a collective message For me, I'm getting yelled at because I'm being told, all right, time's up. Let's go. Get off your butt. Stop sitting around. It's not about you. It's about your contribution to the whole. Stop making it personal. A rabbit, rabbit is about joy and energy. And if, to me, a dead rabbit is things are not getting expanded the way they could get expanded. And I think that's true for the earth too. We have more opportunity than we're allowing ourselves as a society. That's about it. It's about new beginnings and creating openings for new possibilities and feeling like having a freer energy. And despite all that's happening now, for some reason, this energy feels freer. I don't know if other people are experiencing that, but that's been my impression. I feel calmer and freer despite the collective chaos.
Mm-hmm. Good. Stay there. Okay, thank you for that. Jana, did you want to come back on video to share? I think you went either on your phone or you just went off video. Oh, we're going to do an activation on chakra modulation because I think we forget to do this. So basically what I got was about 10 minutes ago was that our chakra system is a big modulator for energy. And we can't always stay totally open or stay totally closed. The chakras relate independently, but also to the whole. And so sometimes this chakra will be open for this particular situation, and then it will shift and modulate. Another one will open up more. So you get the idea that you don't have to be always open or always closed or always the same, that your chakras modulate according to the vibrations that you are entering in. This is a daily life, whatever you do every day, including modulate your chakras for sleep. You don't want your whole chakra system wide open and you try to go to sleep, because guess what? You won't. You have to close it down. You have to go into sleep mode, right? So think of it this way, putting your computer system on sleep mode or hibernate when you go to sleep. Now, if you told an MD that, they would say you're crazy. And then you would say, well, thank you for sharing that. I take that as a compliment. Well, getting back to way before the beginning part of the call. Whenever you're called crazy or stupid or woo-woo, take it as a compliment. All right? It's not a negative personal attack. Take it as a compliment and say, thank you. Okay. Especially if they call you crazy or nuts for saying that or even thinking that, let alone believing that. No, thank you, right? Now, remember, this is what Byron Katie said in one of her books. It's none of your business what other people think about you, and vice versa. So contemplate that. It's none of your business what your parents think about you. We've heard the stories of being disenfranchised from our family members starting about 2-3 years ago for the obvious reasons, right? You were outcasted from the family. They don't talk to you anymore because you didn't get that thing that begins with a V, right? Or you didn't put this thing on your face that begins with an M, right? You didn't do any of that stuff. You lost your friends. Well, imagine this. Imagine, because this is how the world has worked for eons, right? We create wars over ideology, our belief systems. And how stupid is that if you think about it in the grand picture of things, right? How dumb is that? That you can create wars and conflict because of belief systems? If you go really deep into that rabbit hole, it's like it makes absolutely no sense, right? It makes no sense to your quantum mind. Like, man, that is dumb. That's not even thinking, right? That's just bizarre, right? So whatever beliefs are being triggered what's happening now. Just look at it from a neutral place and ask it, if that has relevance in your life now, or is it something that you can discard, like old clothes, right? You go and take to Goodwill. You remember that saying, on the flight to New Earth, there's no carry-on baggage, and you can't even sneak it on, right? Because the detector unit will catch it and will sound an alarm. So we can't take any emotional baggage on our flight to New Earth. So just always remember that analogy. It's kind of a comedy team analogy too, but no carry-on baggage, right? Actually, you can't check any baggage. You just got to go by yourself. No baggage, right? No luggage, not even a carry-on, right? Okay, let's take one more sharing, comments, questions, and then we'll get into a chakra modulation.
A quick note over here from Florida. If anyone wants to learn more about Babaji, one of my teachers, Baba Haridas, maybe some of you know of him. He wrote a book about him. It's called Hariakan Baba, because he was seen many times in the Hariakan jungle of India. And Baba Haridas was meditating in his tent with candles burning, and the tent caught on fire. And Babaji, the immortal one, came and saved his life, dragged him out of his tent. And so Baba Haridas wrote a book about him with really wonderful stories in there about little magical things that he has done. And as a matter of fact, when I was on retreat with Baba Haridas, he was speaking a lot about Babaji. And he said sometimes he appears as a monkey. And that evening I sat out in the woods in Homestead, Florida, under a tree in the moonlight, and a monkey appeared on a branch, which is really unusual. So I do feel connected to him. And I just want to mention one more quick thing about our light bodies, because I believe that that's what Yeshua was trying to show us in the resurrection, that these physical forms do leave, but we have a light body, and that was what was resurrected and shown as a possibility there, because of Baba Haridas appeared to me in his light body that during that retreat, and spoke to me telepathically. And actually he said, just relax and enjoy your life. I said, oh, I'm going to live by that. I love that. So it's called Hariakan Baba, the book, and it's also called Known Unknown.
Why don't you put it in the chat, and then I'll save the
that.
chat, and then we'll get into our little meditation.
Thank you.
Yeah. And most people don't aware that there are many beings that are kind of like always in meditation for humanity. So those are like the silent helpers. Babaji is one of them. You've heard of beings or gods, demigods that are in like a state of meditation all the time. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to save. Did you put it in there? Let's see. I didn't see it yet. Let me scroll down some more. Okay, I'm going to save the chat now, and then we'll get into a meditation here. Couldn't move this chat box to save my life, still in the center of my screen. Okay, I saved the chat. Okay, I'm going to put myself, make sure everybody's muted. We're going to go into a nice spontaneous chakra modulation meditation here. So let's see here. Speaker you. Okay, here we go. Actually, what I'm going to do is, guess what? I'm going to take my little webcam off so you guys can see a version of Babaji instead of my face. Now, interesting thing. In India and other places, if you have long hair, like if you're a guy and you have long hair, that means like, oh, how should I say? It's easier to connect up with quantum consciousness with long hair. But then if you go to like Japan or parts of remote China, at least historically, you have these monks with shaved heads. And to them, a shaved head means no attachments to earth light, passions, emotions, that kind of stuff, right? So like kind of like totally open crown chakra, nothing in the way. So you got two versions of the same thing, see? So like, hey, what's true and what's real? Well, kind of they both are. All right, let's go. We're going to get, actually, let me see. Now we'll just keep it at this. Okay, so the activation is going to start at 1 minute and 46 seconds into the recording. Okay, just remember 1 minute and 46 seconds. Okay, so find a nice, safe, relaxed position for your spine. Now you're going to reconnect with that state that we all co-created in the beginning of this class. So going back to when we did sacred space and moving into the higher vibrations called your light bodies. So remember and re-feel that inner space again, that vibration of moving completely out of the earth realm, out of the collective astral plane of humanity, out of the world, the reality of division and duality and separation, back into your unique innate state of beingness called your spirit. Imagine Babaji now, with his entourage, as it is referred to, his helpers. Babaji and company are now going to surround you, surround your awareness, your presence. They are holding a state of deep, in tune, into source meditation state. A very still, a very calm, a very focused, expanded state of internal oneness. We're going to ask Babaji and company to give you one example of how to modulate your chakra system in everyday life. So let's choose first how your chakras can look clairvoyantly in meditation and or prayer. And just breathe that into your physical body, that knowing, that sensation. It is beyond the intellect, it's beyond words, it's beyond analyzing. It's just a instant state of knowingness. All right, now we're going to ask Babaji and company to show you your chakra modulation capacity for when you are channeling or giving a healing session, a coaching session, a counseling session, Anything having to do with the healing arts. And then how your chakras will modulate as you complete your channeling session, your healing session with your clients or customers or pets. Now we're going to ask Babaji and Company to show you how to modulate your chakras when you are out in nature, whether it's a forest, a lake, seashore, desert, mountains. How you can modulate and retune your chakra systems to be in tune with the devas, the whales, the nature spirits, the fairies, the unicorns, rock spirits, spirit of rivers and lakes. Retuning to the wildlife in nature, to sunlight, to the clouds, to the air elementals, the elementals, fire, earth, water, ether. And how to retune your feet chakras to realign with the inner earth, with the civilizations within inner earth. Telos, Agartha, Shambhala, with Gaia itself, the golden robed ones of inner earth. We're going to ask Babaji and Company now to show you how to modulate your chakras when you're out in the marketplace, doing your errands, how to modulate your chakras at the bank, at the gas station, at the grocery store, at the dry cleaners, social gatherings. Your pineal and pituitary are the modulators for your chakra system. The masculine and feminine within. We're going to ask Babaji and Company now to show you how to modulate your chakra system while you're at home, just doing what you normally do in an everyday sense. And how to stay earth connected. How you can create sacred space or to enhance your sacred space in and around your home. We're going to ask Babaji and Company now to show you another way to modulate your chakras. If you have a day job, a physical day job where you go to and from work, And that will include how to modulate your chakras while you're driving or taking transportation to and from work. We're going to ask Babaji and Company now to show you another way to modulate your chakra system while you are receiving healing work from another, be it massage, body work, acupuncture, physical therapy. How to modulate chakras to best receiving the healing energies for your body. So all of these downloads will come as impressions that come quicker than lightning. They move faster than the speed of light and thought. Now, all of these impressions or these awarenesses will be stored in your storage area in your crown chakra. So you will have access to this upon requests. And we'll do one more. I'm going to ask Babaji and Company to show you how to modulate your chakras for sleep, for deep REM sleep that heals the body, and for visionary experiences beyond the astral plane. This will include connecting to your tribe, connecting to those that you have not met yet physically. Could also be your future ideal clients and customers. Again, your tribe, your soul friends. Okay, take a deep cosmic breath. Now, all of this is already, how shall we say, modulated in your system. So you may recall this upon command in meditation. Practice, practice, and practice. All right, you're going to gather yourself now. You're going to gather your quantum aspects, align them all together through all your different light bodies. And we're going to vertically align now all of your light bodies to your physical body in a beautiful figure eight flow of golden, as above, so below. You're also going to do this horizontally from your heart chakra of in your etheric body, going out horizontally, the sideways figure eight flow. You are magnetically connecting to the source of all life. To the essence of all life. And then you're going to modulate it together. Babaji and Company will show you one more balancing of the vertical and the horizontal in the heart chakra. Ask your guardian angels to pay attention to this. Ask your inner child to pay attention. Take a deep cosmic breath of the holy Om deep within. oming silently through the body. Now, again, feel the force field of light around your body and around your home. It is like a canopy of light, a force field that exists on all dimensional levels. It is a force field that integrates automatically, that creates sacred and safe space. It is a cleansing space. You can activate the violet flame at any time in your sacred space. And you can ask Saint Germain or Archangel Zadkiel on how to use the violet flame in everyday life, and how to use the violet flame to heal the body of disturbances, distortions. And command now that all inappropriate cords, bindings, and attachments now be released from you and your field. And ask Saint Germain to show you a way to keep your solar plexus chakra clear of all energies that are not yours. And how to fortify your solar plexus so that it stays in balance and harmony. Now, as you come back to the body in your room, imagine your feet, your bare feet, is sitting in a tub of hot, cleansing water, structured water. In this tub of hot, but not too hot, structured water is cleansing and purifying your body now, helping your body to cleanse the toxins and chemicals from itself. Imagine the water pulling out density and debris out of your body through the feet. And now the water is going to turn into a beautiful cobalt blue, a very cool cobalt blue. And allow your feet to soak in this cobalt blue for, shall we say, the next 10 to 12 minutes, etherically. And when complete, your feet will automatically be dried off and infused with this beautiful golden light. Golden feet, golden feet. So we're going to end this masterclass now, but allow yourself to stay in the field, to stay in the state for a bit longer, and to just simply enjoy, to just relax and do nothing, to just simply be, just to simply be and enjoy. Allow yourself quantum rest knowing that miracles are around the corner. Your opportunities are going to begin to appear as if out of the blue. Be open to all possibilities, to all miracles, to all blessings, to the power of grace moving through your life in all ways at all times. Blessings to your computers, your cell phones, your televisions. Blessings to all of your electronic devices, including your automobiles. Blessings to your pets and blessings to your ancestors. So until next time, many blessings. Aloha from Asheville.